And as you can see, we have a well-produced image that you can tell obviously has some type of illustrations to it, like an illustrated kindness to it, not super realistic, but the quality is pretty good. The suit is nice. Let's see, it kind of matches. I see the tie. Okay, the suit is nice. I see the face references, maybe not exact, but close. Um, and honestly, it's fairly close. The hands are very, very well depicted. You don't see what's going on, everybody. Welcome back to another Granularity AI tutorial. Today, we are going to talk about the GPT-4o image generation. I know I may have missed kind of I guess, when it first came out, everyone was doing videos in their own image generation from it. So I kind of, have, presently I'm doing it after the hype. And I saw all the Studio Ghibli images. I saw all the different creative graphic designs. The action figure design one, all was really, really cool. So I figured I'll do my own after the hype has died down. Now, I know that there has been a lot of this vibe coding hype also, and I'm willing to offer in another subset to the vibe AI development, and that's vibe marketing or vibe design. And I think today we're going to do a little bit of both, especially if you're someone who's into marketing or into graphic design. Um, this should be something very important to you, honestly, especially if you're in marketing where you're developing campaigns and maybe you don't necessarily have the funds you would like to really make sure you're able to do all that you want and be as creative as you want. And AI gives you, or ChatGPT 4o at least, gives you that ability to do it presently. One thing that I'll say though is these images that I've seen, these designs I've seen of the ChatGPT 4o image generation, these are the worst they will ever be. Meaning, after these iterations, probably after this year, as the 4o model learns and learns about what people want, what works, what doesn't, it gathers the reinforcement learning and the feedback and does reinforcement learning on the feedback. By next year, photos, images, whatever kind of designs probably could look damn near realistic. So that's something that we kind of need to expect and make sure we come to terms with as we kind of go down this route. But today we're going to run through kind of just exploring the GPT-4o image generation. We're going to generate maybe like 3 different images and see what kind of spits out. So if this sounds like something of interest to you, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that dislike. Please make sure you hit that like if you need to. Well, hit like over dislike, my bad. Hit like, please make sure you hit that like button, and if you feel so, hit that dislike. I just ask that if you do decide to dislike, make sure you leave feedback, leave comments, leave suggestions, so that we can provide the best type of content for you guys on this AI wave, on this AI journey, whatever this might be, and whatever it might lead to. One thing I want to state is, in the past, maybe last month, I did maybe earlier this month, I can't remember. I did a video on prompt engineering, and I know prompt engineering is so 2022, I guess, 2023, but it's still pretty relevant as we get into these vibe coding, vibe marketing kind of environments, kind of scenarios where in order to create the best vibe for your application, you need to make sure that your prompts, that your grammar, that your punctuation, that your syntax um, is even readable by the AI. What you have to understand is as you're going through this, like I said in the prompt engineering video, I'll leave it as one of the videos to check out at the end of this one. In the prompt engineering videos, language arts is going to become more important than ever, where you will have to know a basic understanding of adjectives, nouns, verbs, adverbs, punctuation, um, just again, minimal language arts stuff, minimal grammar, and yeah, minimal grammar and punctuation stuff in order to make sure that your AI can perform effectively from your prompt. So today we're going to kind of build an image. The first image that we're going to create is a Tomb Raider image. I got inspiration from someone that I saw on Instagram who kind of did something similar to the same thing I'm thinking of, which is developing an image of Lara Croft or Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft playing Tomb Raider on a PlayStation 1. If you are as nostalgic as I am, I had a PlayStation 1 when I was younger. I had, I think, a motocross game, Crash Bandicoot, Forza Motorsport, and Tomb Raider. I think there was one more. Oh, Tekken. That was kind of my go-to games when I had my PS1 way, way, way back in the day. I had to be like elementary school, maybe. I also had a Game Boy Color. Wow, taking it way back. Anyways, we are going to kind of build that image and see what we can kind of create from it. I am using the paid version of ChatGPT, $20 a month. If I recommend that if you have the money, if you can spare 20 bucks, if you can put it to having a subscription to ChatGPT and all its various models, it might be worth the money depending on what you're doing. When it comes to image generation and you're generating more than, I don't know, one image, you might want to grab it. If you don't use it that much, you just use ChatGPT these days for just coding tasks and so forth, you might not need it. But for image generation, highly recommend using it. Also, if you're looking for the Sora usage, highly recommend using that as well. Or highly recommend subscribing for $20 to the ChatGPT application if you plan to use Sora. But let's jump in. So what you're gonna need are reference images. We are gonna be using reference images here for this tutorial. So as you can see, I kind of already have a few images that I put into image generation examples folder. And we already kind of have some Lara Croft images here as well. So we're gonna take this one. That's one. We're gonna try to at least load 3 to 4 into this. I think 3 is the max on the unpaid version. Move my face over here. There we go. And then we're gonna do one more. Maybe not. And let's do the PS1. See if I can add one more into this. This one as well. Nice. So 4 images that we have. 2 of Lara Croft from Tomb Raider and 2 PS1 images. Now the prompt that I built here, using the provided reference images for inspiration, create an image of Lara Croft seated in a cozy retro style room. The room should feature vintage decor elements such as a wood paneled wall, a classic CRT television, and retro furniture like a plush armchair. Lara Croft is depicted wearing her iconic outfit from the Tomb Raider series. She is holding a PlayStation 1 controller and is immersed in playing Tomb Raider on the console. The television screen should display gameplay from the original Tomb Raider with recognizable elements with Laura's in-game avatar. Include subtle touches that emphasize the nostalgic atmosphere, such as scattered game cases, a dimly lit room illuminated by the TV's glow, and perhaps a snack or drink nearby to evoke a relaxed, lived-in feel. As you can see, this is a pretty well-structured prompt, right? Giving context to the model, adding descriptions to the model, and giving nouns, adverbs, adjectives, whatever you want to call it, into this prompt as well. Now, now that we have our prompt, now that we have our images, let's go on and hit it. Now, the image generation piece does take a while, um, ranging from, depending on how simple it is, from a few seconds to a few minutes. So, depending on how many images you also loaded in the prompt, it could take a few minutes. Who knows? But usually, it's fairly quick. So let's kind of give it some time and see what pops out. Nice. So as you can see, we have a fully developed Laura Croft image based off the Angelina Jolie Laura Croft images we handed in. This one's not a good one. That's a decent one. And it was able to get it close, not exact, but you are able to iterate on this. Maybe even add more pictures of Angelina Jolie to kind of get it closer to her face and look. But again, this is a pretty nice picture. I see the arm veins. I see the Laura Croft was a fit individual, so I'm not surprised she has a lot of vascularity. Boots, games on the ground. The only thing that weirds me out is the controller is not hooked up to the PlayStation, from what I can see, unless she's looking at a different TV. But the face, fairly close to Angelina Jolie. Hair, Tomb Raider on the TV. Cool. I see her tricep here. Pretty artistic. I'm not gonna lie. Not bad. I think in the next one, I might try to make it more realistic. Maybe say like create a realistic image. Maybe that can help a bit. Again, context, description can help in your prompt to then fine tune it and make it look better. I'm gonna give this a thumbs up real quick. Next, let's say we are a fashion designer, right? The Laura Croft was a simple example, but let's kind of get more realistic. We are now vibe marketing. We are a fashion designer, or we're an advertisement company, we're a fashion designer, whatever it is. We want to create. We don't have the money to hire exceptional, supermodels, but we do have the money to pay $20 a month to ChatGPT and create decent imagery for our clothing, right? With that being said, our next one is going to be where we have a few different clothing pieces, and we want to take our clothing pieces, take the images of them, and add them to a famous model. Let's say, if you're not familiar with like models like Tyson Beckford, Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, people of that nature, right? Let's see if we can kind of add our clothes to their body. So let's go here. Again, this piece is kind of questionable, right? Where you're like, oh, this is not fair. You're using somebody's image or likeness without their permission. If it's public images, what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? This is only an example, not saying to go ahead and make money off of this, but if you're low in funds, it's not a bad idea. If you don't have the funds to get ultra skilled models, what can you do? So again, we're kind of got to use this example and see what we can do. So Tyson Beckford, this should work. World-renowned supermodel, I think in the 90s, maybe still presently, I believe. We're gonna use 2 images of Tyson Beckford. And then we're also gonna take this Tom Ford suit and add that to the mix of what we want to see. And we're gonna give it a prompt. I kind of want this to be like 007-ish kind of style. So we're gonna kind of, using the provided reference images for inspiration, create a realistic. I think is how you spell it. Create a realistic image depicting a man actively gambling in a lively concealed environment. The man is seated at a roulette table or blackjack table, depending on the reference images, and appears fully engaged in the game. He is dressed in a sharp, stylish outfit, evoking the atmosphere of an upscale casino. Surround him with excited onlookers who are enthusiastically reacting to his gameplay, some cheering, others leaning in with keen interest. The casino setting should feature rich details such as luxurious decor, dazzling lights reflecting off slot machines and tables include subtle touches to enhance the realism, like glasses of champagne on the nearby tables, scattered casino chips, and an air of anticipation in the expression and body language of the crowd. The overall mood should convey energy and excitement. Very descriptive. I think I did get AI to help me a bit more on the description for this. So again, use what you can. If you're not very good at prompting, find, get AI to help you. Get Copilot, get GPT, get Claude to help you in shaping your prompts to be more robust and more descriptive so that it could be easier for other AI models to read. So let's go ahead and let's do, this man is seated at a, I want to do blackjack. I like blackjack actually. At a blackjack table. Boom. And appears fully engaged in the game. He's dressed in a sharp da 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 da. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a try. So my expectation of this is the Tom Ford suits that we just entered in can then be, to a degree, put together with Tyson Beckford's face, maybe his silhouette, I guess, in these images, kind of body shape, to then kind of make it a marketing image, kind of make it realistic, to showcase, right, that we don't really need models for this if we don't have the money, right? We could definitely kind of get something close to realistic. I'm not expecting this output to be super duper, uh, high quality or portrait-esque, but mainly just something that could at least get me started. And maybe I can refine it. Maybe I can take it up to myself, kind of refine it a bit more in like Adobe Illustrator or something of that nature, and see what kind of spills out. But let's give it some time to load, and we'll come back. And as you can see, we have a well-produced image that you can tell obviously has some type of illustrations to it, like an illustrated kindness to it, not super realistic, but the quality is pretty good. The suit is nice. Let's see, it kind of matches. I see the tie. Okay, the suit is nice. I see the face references, maybe not exact, but close. Um, and honestly, it's fairly close. The hands are very, very well depicted. You don't see what you usually see in some of these past, like when AI was doing its image generation. I see like maybe kind of like here, right? The numbers are kind of weird looking, but I don't see it too much anywhere else of like odd depictions. I see maybe the fingers here are kind of weird looking, but unless like you have like, paying close attention, will you really kind of care and notice? But again, with refinement over and over again to this image, this could be a pretty close like magazine kind of image that you would just use. I don't know. But again, there is something like uncanny fakeness to it. But if you're looking to just depict a suit that you designed or a dress that you designed, this might work, right? Another thing that we're going to try is, again, for marketing, we're going to try one more, this time with a woman. And same concept, right? Same kind of like casino kind of thing, but let's see like what it does when we give it reference pictures of a woman and see what happens. So again, go back to your folder. We have this dress. And we have here. And yeah, let's do this image. And maybe, you know what? Let's see what happens when we include a bag into the mix. I don't know. I'm just curious. Cool. Let's see what we kind of get. Again, this is my first time using the image generation thing, so now I'm just kind of curious of what it spits out. Let's throw in our prompt. And this will be the last one that we generate today. Using the provided reference images for inspiration, create a realistic image of a woman engaged in gambling at a bustling casino. She is seated at a roulette table or blackjack, depending on the reference images. Let's change this again to blackjack. She is seated at a blackjack table and is immersed in the game, exuding confidence and focus. The woman is dressed in an elegant, glamorous outfit fitting for the upscale casino ambiance. Surround her with a group of excited onlookers, rapid gameplay, So fairly the same as kind of what we had in the beginning. Casino, sparkling chandeliers, richly textured carpeting, sleek gambling, but the overall mood should convey high energy, excitement with a lively, luxurious atmosphere. Let's see what it spits out. I'm gonna give this a thumbs up for this image, and then let's go ahead. So again, take some time to cook, but as you can see, the images that it can produce are fairly high quality. This one, not really, but for beginning quality, it can be. You can probably over and over again refine this to the point where it does become realistic. I think when I was reading about the different examples of the image generation, there was some images that need to be iterated on and refined like 8 times. So you will run into cases where you kind of have to build already on an image to make sure it looks to your liking. But anyways, let's give this some time and then come back and see what the end result is. Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised. This one is fairly good quality and it kind of used the reference of the bag that I provided. This is fairly good quality. I'm actually surprised. This is better than I thought it would look like. Again, I do see kind of the imagery, kind of not including everything, kind of just some mishaps here and there. But all in all, I do see the resemblance to the model that we gave in the references, the bag that we gave in the references, stuff like that. Onlookers excited. Again, with refinement, this can be a pretty decent image. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what happens when we say, please make it more realistic. Please make it more, please refine and make it more, and make it look more realistic. Again, this is off the cuff. This is my first time using the image generation piece. So we are experimenting with this together to see what it kind of spits out from here. Let's give it some time and see if it does refine or not. So this doesn't really look like it's too much more realistic than what we had originally. But again, still good images nonetheless. They're not bad. Again, there's still this, again, uncanny, unrealistic feel of it. But still great, still a great image. Still can be pretty useful when it comes to advertising and showing off different pieces and items. I see the bag that we included there. Let me go back to the images that we referenced. So as you see, the bag was included, the model was included, the dress was included. Looks like, yeah, it looks, let me see. Yeah, the dress with the bow was included in both, I believe. So again, still could be fairly useful. You may have to refine it over and over and over and over again, add details, add some type of realism images to it to make sure it can produce what you need. But it seems like it's perfectly capable to do so. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, if you did learn a lot about this 4o image generation in this video, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Please make sure you like. Please make sure you dislike even. All I ask is that if you do decide to dislike, make sure you add comments, suggestions, and feedback so that we can provide you the best type of content we can. One thing I want to state though, this goes back to how important prompt engineering has become and how long it will be important for. Whenever you're shaping these prompts, right, that are descriptive, that kind of give the model context, that provide the model information as to what you want specifically, the better your output will be. It's just, it's unequivocal between like having a 2-sentence prompt of like, give me an image of a sunset, or give me an image of a sunset. This image should have people at the beach, right? Not really comprehensive. Whereas you could say, give me an image of a sunset of people at the beach that are heavily in love. This image should include dolphins swimming and jumping out of the water with the waves, while the palm trees look like they're swaying in the wind. Like, it should be comprehensive. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we probably don't really want to write a whole paragraph just to describe an image we want, but it can be very, very helpful for the AI model to produce exactly what you want. Get the AI model, ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot to help you produce a more comprehensive prompt if you're not getting the results you want. But again, I am pretty satisfied with what ChatGPT-4o image generation is able to produce. It can be used, I can see this used in magazines, I can see this used in fashion marketing, I could see this just marketing in general maybe. This is a cool aspect. So if you have the money, if you are a marketer, an advertiser, designer of some sort, if you have the money, if you have the means, pay the $20 a month. Hey, it's okay. I promise you, you will get a lot of value out of it, and we'll produce a lot of content. I know there's a $200 tier. I don't think you need that. I think that's kind of overkill. But the $20 a month one, 100% will advocate for it. And so, with that being said, bye bye.